Hello, welcome, welcome. Yeah. So, this is the day nine, the ninth day of our 90-day challenge. Yes, and the UI we are going to design, this is coming from the DSTV Nigeria website. This actually possesses some challenges, especially the animations that are here. So looking at this, it looks like a simple uh, packages design. Like it looks like a carousel, right? So the normal carousel slide that we are used to, right? So, but then, did you notice this when you click uh, more info? Do you notice what just happened? So, is when I saw this, like when I was browsing through the website and I saw this. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. So this is actually something challenging that we can try and see how we be able to get to it. Because of course, we have been designing carousels, right? So we already know how to design carousel. But how about this? So let me before we go into this, let me tell you that this tutorial may be a longer tutorial, um, but won't you love to, to know how to do this? Won't you love to learn how to achieve this kind of animation, So because this thing, what it enables DSTV Nigeria to do is that people can actually view, compare between these different packages just by toggling it up and then doing the toggling it open and then cross checking, just like you see I just toggled up three of them, and here I can look at them and compare, you see. So I can see the different things they give to the different options they give to me, and then I can make my decisions. So this is really a cool feature. And also, if you notice, when you hover on each of these carousels, it kind of expands. You see, when you hover on this, it expands. So let's dive into this and see how we can do it. Of course, it's going to require a little bit of code, yes. So, but don't worry about the code. I'm going to provide for you the code and also explain to you, the bit, a little bit of where, like the main thing where you really have to focus on the code. So you don't need to understand everything about the code, So like, but the way I'm going to explain it, of course, you will understand it well and be able to do it not just for this, be able to also do it, replicate it in other designs you may encounter. All right, so let's get to it. Um, okay, so the next thing, first of all, I have to download all my images. So let me pause the video and then download these images and then for us to start. Okay, so I have gone ahead and downloaded all the images I need. Okay, so let's get into this. Let me copy this. Go back here. So we're going to need a one column section, a one column container. Then inside it, I'm going to drop in uh, a heading. Then I'm also going to drop in a paragraph. All right, then finally drop in our carousel. So I'm going to drop in the carousel here. Okay. All right. I'm coming. Okay. So now I think we need do we need a button? Let's see. Yes, there's a button here. So I'm going to drop in a button as well. Type in button. and drop it here. Okay, so we have added almost all the elements we need. So now let's start styling. But first of all, let me copy out this guy, paste it here as well. Okay, let me make sure, yes. And here says compare packages. So let's add it. Compare packages. All right, so I think now we're ready to style, make some style changes here. So let's grab the color of the background. So what color are they using for the background? Okay, so I'm going back here, go to style, and then paste. Ooh, nope, nope, nope. Didn't get it. What was happening? Okay, I've copied it. Yeah, all right. So the next thing, I'm going to add a padding at the top, maybe 80 at the top, 80 at the bottom, to kind of give it some spacing. Then going back to the heading, the headline. So this is our headline here. Let's see the styling they have. So I'm going to click it and check. So what we have here, font size of 24 pixel, then line height of 28.8, and a font weight of 700, and they are using Poppins, which is nice. Thank God. Thank God. We don't need to guess which one will fit in, which particular font will be similar to it. So in this case, we simply use Poppins. So font size of 24 pixel. All right, so let me go back here. Uh, Type in Poppins. 24 pixel, font weight of 700, line height of 28.8. All right, so how about the color? They're using pure white. Okay, yes, they're using pure white. So that's it. Okay, so we go into this one, the paragraph. Let's see. So on the paragraph, the color, of course, is a pure white with a transparency. You can see it here, 0.7. So let me get the hex. Okay, let me go back here and paste the color. I just copied. All right, then um, the next thing they have here is the font size is 16 and the line height is 24 pixel. Okay, so font weight 400. So font size of 16 pixel, and of course it's still the same Poppins. So Poppins 16 pixel, font weight of 400, and then line height of 24. Then of course we are going to remove the extra spacing at the bottom of our paragraph. So maybe minus 20, 24, around this side, yeah, 26. Okay. Then how about this? How about our button? So I'm going to click it. So right here we have the color to be white. Yes. And when you hover on it, it changes to this color. So let me grab it. Okay, so font size is 18 pixel, line height is 27. Let's do it step at a time. So I'm going to go to style. On hover, when you hover on it, the background turns into this color, right? And of course, the text color is normally white. The ground color is a transparent color, whereby they have a border. So border of 2 pixel around, then border radius of 100 to make it rounded. Okay, then of course the border color is also white as well, but when you now hover on it, the border color will become blue as well. Then let's go into the topography. So on the topography, we have the font size to be 18 pixel, the line height to be 27. Okay, font weight 700. Okay, 18 pixel poppins, 700 weight, and line height of 27. Okay, then we go into the spacing. So the padding is 8 pixel at the top, 27 pixel by the side, 27.2 pixel by the side, and 8.8 at the bottom. Okay, so let's see how this works. 8 pixel at the top, 8.8 at the bottom, and 27.2 at the left and right hand side. Okay, so we're getting there. When you hover on it, it changes. Okay, then let's go into this, which is actually the cocoa. This is the main cocoa. So we need, let's try and break it down. Inside one of the carousel column, we are going to add a headline, and then add, you can use an image box to get these two things. Yes, and then a headline here or anything. You can use any text widget to achieve this, and then a button. All right, so let's go and try it out. So inside here, I'm going to add a button. No, I'm going to add a heading. Yes, and the heading we say, ooh, can't even copy it. So the heading we say premium. Premium. Okay, then I'm going to add an image box. Why do I need an image box? You're going to see why in a moment. Okay, so I will simply remove the image, and now I'm left with heading and then description. So here we have 160 plus channels. So I'll simply type it here, 160 plus channels. Then we have 38 HD channels. So here, 38 HD channels. And of course, the heading title can simply make it to be a div, or simply have it to be span, or even have it to be a p. But in this case, let it be a div. Then the alignment, of course, it have to be aligned to the left hand side. Then on the content, first of all, let me change the color. Let me make it white, so at least we'll be seeing what we're doing. Same thing with the description, make it white as well. Then the heading, same thing, make it white, so at least we'll be seeing what we're working on. All right, then the next thing is this guy here. um let's grab it. I can actually use this heading for this and copy it, paste it here, and this is a 24,500 PM, right? 24,500 PM. Okay, so oops, I'll use this 24,500 PM. Then let me quickly search for Naira symbol, because it's not in our keyboard. So Naira symbol, here is it. Copy and I can paste it here. All right. Then we need a button. So looking at this, um, thinking of just copying this button. Copy it, paste here, and more info. What is the text inside it says more info. Okay. Then we need to style. Let's start styling. So I'm going to click this. Are you sure this is let me do it again. Okay, so this is it. So I'm going to click it, and this is a 38. And here, why is it showing New Times Romans? It's showing New Time Romans, which is a different kind of font. Um, 38 pixel for the font size, and 400 for the font width. I don't think this is actually, I don't think this is this is truly the this thing, but let's test it out. 38, right? They say 38. So let's add 38 here and see. Okay, so 38, change this to poppins. In fact, I'm going to do this by the eye. So change it to poppins, and okay, still not looking similar to this. There's a font that looks similar to this. I'm trying to place it. I've forgotten. There's a font I used that time. Looks so similar to this. I don't know. Let's try this font out. This font I just saw here. How about this? Uh, there's a font, and I'm trying to place that font. Okay, we can use the Rubik, but then this is too bold, too bold. I think it's Ubuntu. Ubuntu, yes, Ubuntu exactly. Yeah, that's the font, Ubuntu. That's the font I'm I'm thinking of. So the Ubuntu font looks similar to this. I think it's actually Ubuntu they are using. Yeah. See the app. See the app. Okay. I think it's still the same thing. Wait, let me increase the font weight. So increase the font weight to maybe 800. Let's see. 900. Seems like the Ubuntu doesn't have 600, 700, 800. This is how far it can be. Okay, so I think the one they're using is different. So it's not really Ubuntu, but you see, Ubuntu looks so close to it. So we are going to use it. Then, of course, that's it. What else? What else? What else? The next thing is this guy here. Let's see if we're able to get it correctly. Click this, and okay, 16 pixel poppins and 24 pixel line height, 700 for the font weight. So 16 pixel. So we click here, go to the content. So on the title, the topography have to be poppins. Then 16 pixel, font weight 700, and line height 24 pixel. How about the smaller description? Clicking it. 16, the same thing, 16 pixel, 24 pixel, but in this case, the font weight is what changes. The font weight is 400, whereby the other font weight is 700. So Let's add it. Opens 16, font width 400, line height 24 pixel. Yeah, so that's it. We're getting there, though things are still messed up, but we're gradually getting there. Then the next thing is this guy here. So click it, and what do we have? We have 32 pixel for the font size, then 38.4 pixel for the line height, 700 for the font width. So 32 pixel for the font size. So in this case, we're using Poppins. Type in 32, font width 700, line height 38.4. All right, then going into this, we are still coming back to that price, but going into this, let's style this, the button. So click it. The font size is 12. The line height is 16. And the padding is 10 pixel padding all around, and the font weight is 700. So 12 pixel font size. So I'm clicking on the button, go to style. So 12 pixel, still 700. Line height 16. Then the padding 10 pixel all around. Ooh, so it's actually looking very different. I think probably because of the line height we added. So, but then you can still reduce this, maybe make it 5. And here make it 5. So 5 at the top and bottom, while we have 10 pixel by the left and right hand side. So of course we are going to change this to it's no longer going to be a border. Yes, rather we remove the border, bring back this guy, bring back the background color, shows white. Then of course this guy is black. The text color itself is black. Then when you hover on it, this is going to be white in this case. So when you hover on it, you have this, right? One thing to make sure again, whenever you're working with buttons that doesn't have an icon, is to make sure your icon spacing is set to 0. So I'm going to do that on the other the other button here, set it to 0. Okay, so we have styled this, but the pricing, the pricing, this is where we have some challenges on the pricing, because looking at this, you see, this guy, the PM here is very small, and then this guy here is at the top. Okay, so let's see what we can do on it. I know if you have worked with if you have worked with this thing MS Word, you have the subscript and the superscript, so I think we can still achieve it using this. So I can simply type sub. Let's see. Yeah, I think I got it. Okay. No, 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 no. Think I don't know. I think that works. How about that? Then maybe this one we now have this one we have. Let me see if it works. Superscript and subscript. Nah. No, this is not working. This is not working as we intending to. We intending to work. maybe I think this the superscript works in a way, so we can leave it for the this thing. But the PM, we simply add a span, you know, should we add a add a span on it, then go to advanced and just write a simple CSS to target that span. So in this case, let me go back again, and so this is heading 2. Okay, so let's bring it down to maybe heading 4. So heading 4, we need to target the heading 4 here. So heading 4, the span that is inside heading 4. So the size font size should be, maybe let's use 14 pixel, and that's it. But let me actually get it here. Let me make sure that what we have is you can see they actually added it in a span. So they have 18 pixel. Yes, that's what they have, 18 pixel. So let me do the same thing, 18 pixel. Okay, so I think probably we can use span to do the other one as well instead of this sub. How about that? We use span. But in this case, two of them will now be at the bottom. Right? So we need a way to differentiate between those spans. So on the first span, which is the one for this thing, maybe we give it a kind of an ID, right? Give it an ID of give it a class. So class instead of ID, just give it a class. Uh, maybe a class of Naira symbol or something like that. Let's see. Let's see, man. Uh, this is gonna work. Dots. Okay, so let me just make it color red. Okay, this doesn't work. Heading 1 span. Okay. Uh, why is it not working right? This is heading 4, right? Heading 4 span. Then the span is the class Naira symbol, color red. Coming. Okay. All right. So now I see my mistake. Now I see my mistake here. Okay. Class host, of course. This is Naira symbol, right? So the Naira symbol, uh, but it's still not working now. What's happened? Let me make sure the Naira symbol is there. Oh, okay. So I need to join it together. So heading 4 span dot Naira symbol, or maybe we can remove the heading 4. How about that? Okay, it really needs to be there. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is to take this up. Maybe how about using test align top, something like that. Text align top. Um okay. Okay. I think How about let's do vertical align in this case. Vertical align top. Hmm. But why is it not going all the way up? For some reason the vertical align up is not, it's kind of not going all the way up. Hmm. Let me remove the color red. How about margin top zero. How about margin top 10 pixel? So the margin top 10 pixel is still, nothing is working. Maybe minus 10, so not working. Put important. It's also not working. How about margin right 10 pixel? Okay, this one works. So why is this not on? Why is the other one not working? I think I also have to add margin left on this. Margin left 3px. Okay, it's two here. For some reason the vertical align top isn't working. It's kind of aligned to the center here. I don't know. Maybe, wait, let me open up my navigator. Maybe this is coming from the slide itself. So I'm going to the slide. So from here, let's add this to start. How about this? Okay, so it's not actually coming from here. So, but we can still leave it at this, you know. This is still okay. Then we need this pricing and the button to be side by side, of course. So I'm already on the slide one. So here on the slide one, I'm going to change the direction here. Then make sure I scroll down to wrap and activate the wrap. Okay, so then click on this heading. Go and make it full width. Same thing with this. Click it, go to advanced, make it full width. And now we have these two stuffs here. I'm going to click on the slide again, then scroll down. And in this case, I want it to be space between, because I want this to be at the extreme end, this guy at the extreme end, and then align items center. Okay, then let's look at this again. Let's look at what we're having here. Um, okay, so these have to be inside. Okay, why this one is at the top here? Um, okay, 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 okay. How do we achieve this? Okay, before we go into that, let's actually add an image. Let's add this image so at least we'll be seeing, we'll be visualizing what we are working on first. So let me clicking on the slide, which is the slide one, and then going to this style. Open up this, and let's add our images. So a lot of them here. So let me go to the download and try and get them. All right, so let's just wait for it to finish uploading. Okay, so let's add our image. So this is our image. Then it have to be full size, that is cover. Okay, then of course center, but let's just leave it at default for now. Then the height, we need to give this our carousel, we need to give it a specific height, the slide itself, you know, and that height will be constant. across all the slides. So maybe looking at this, I think this may be around 400 or 450. Let's type in 400 here. Okay, let me look at it again. Okay, so I think this should be like 450 and like 450. Let's look. I think that's actually 400 or maybe maybe 420 or so or thereabout. Then go to advanced and add some padding around it, maybe 20 pixel padding around. Let's look at this again. Yeah, 20 pixel padding around. Okay. So one thing I'm noticing is that 20, a bit 30, I think 30 pixel around. One thing I'm noticing is that this whole thing is not balanced. Let me turn this to 25. And I think it's coming from here, where we did this to be centered. Or if we make it stretch, this is how it's going to do. Align content. Um, Space between. Exactly. So in fact, we may not even need to add anything here. So on this align content, space between, yeah, and that's it. But this have to be closer to this. That's another problem here. Okay, and click this and we make it grow. Now, we're making it to the end, or maybe using a margin to push it down. This will only increase the sizing. It will only increase the size of this. Okay, so we could have used padding, individual padding inside here to achieve this, but there's a one challenge, using the individual padding. Wait, I think we can still use individual padding for it. Yes. Let me look at this again. So, clicking on the slide, go back here, and this is space in between. This is centered. Okay, this guy here. Um, just turn it to default. Then click this and give it some padding, maybe like 100, 200 padding. Yeah, give it like that 200 padding. So it kind of pushes everything up. Think maybe how about 160, 160. Yeah. So we have gotten it. That's it. Mm, yeah. So um now we got this. All I have to do is duplicate this slide one. So let me go to the carousel, delete these guys, and then duplicate the slide one. Duplicate it how many number of times that I want it. Okay, so I can of course change the name to slide 2, change this slide 3, change this slide 4, make the necessary changes. And of course, when you do that, here it's still showing slide 1, slide 1 for all of them. So I can also come into it, double tap, and change it to slide 2. Oops. Why is this thing? Okay, slide 3. Yes. Then slide 4. Okay, slide 5. And that's it. So now we have all this slide here. We have all this slide. We're still coming to the layout of the carousel and all that. There's a lot, and there's a lot going on in this carousel, but we'll be able to do that. So there's a spacing here. If you look where my mouse is currently, there's a spacing, and this spacing is probably 20, no, around 30. I think this is 30 pixel. So let's go to the carousel. We go to the carousel. Then how many number of this thing? So one, two, three displays at a time. So you have this to be three display at a time. Then on the settings, we're still coming to the settings for now. Let's just go to style. So on the style gap between them. So for it to be 30. Yes, let's see. Yeah, 30 for the gaps between them. And of course, there's something I failed to notice. This slide, the individual slide, have a curve. You have this border radius. I think border radius of around 8, 8 pixel of border radius. So we can still do that. I'm going to click on one of them, one of the slide. That is the slide 1. Go to style, scroll down to border. And on the border, I'm going to add, make it 8. Let's see how it looks on the first one. Yeah, okay, it's looking as it should. Then on the background, I think it's time to make it center center. Center center, and let's see. Okay, maybe push it a little bit to the left. Is it the left or the right? Which one? I think the left, the right. Push it center right. Let's see. Okay. No, let's just keep it as center center. Then all I have to do, copy this, click here and copy it. Oh, okay. It doesn't allow me to copy for the styling. Well, I think that's one of the things I should have noticed. So I have to now do it manually. So put 8 here. Go to the slide 3. Put 8 on the border radius. Slide 4 and put 8 in the border radius. Then finally slide 5. Put 8 in the border radius as well. Okay. All right. Then the next thing, let's see. What next thing do we? Okay, the next thing is to make this. You can see there's the fourth slide that kind of came out. Like you kind of seen 20% of it. So how do we achieve that? We go to the carousel settings. So scroll down and on the settings, not here, on the navigation. Mm, Not here, not here. Where is it? Slide to scroll. It should be here. Oh, yeah, I just missed it. So the offset side. So make it offset to the right. Yes. But the thing is, you can't really see it. You can't really see it from the front end here. You can't see it. You can only see it only, you can't see it from the editing screen here. You can only see it in the front end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to update this and then view it in the front end. So we see how it's looking currently. Okay, so now let's preview this. Okay, still loading up. All right. Okay, so you can see it. You can see the fourth one. Fourth one is here. And looking at our original. So this 80, it means the 80 here is not enough. So maybe let's use 120 instead. And let's see what 120 is going to give us. So 120, going to update. All right, so let's check it again. Okay, so as you can see, this is this is the 120. Okay, so maybe we use 140. I think 140. So we add 140 there. Let me save the changes and then preview it again. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think the 140. Yeah. So it's now showing a good amount of the fourth one, which is similar to this. But if you notice again, this guy here is actually touching the edge, whereby in our own case, or our own is not touching the edge, and it's because we have a box layout instead of a full width layout. So what do I mean by that? Let's go to the main container here. So on the main container here, you can see this is box. So if we change it to full width, well, when we change it to full width, it creates another problem for us, which is this guy here will be touching the edges. Yes. So that's the second problem it creates for us. But then I'm going to show you a workaround for that. Okay, so let's view in the front end again. All right, so you can see now the slide is touching the edges perfectly as we want it. But this guy here is touching the edge and we don't want that. So how do we mitigate it? All we have to do is drag a container, drop it at the top, then take all these things that are here, take it, place it inside that container. So let me make use of this. Place it here. And as you can see, the container that we just added is box. So it will only be box, whereby the main container is full width. And here we go. We still have our our initial layout whereby having this. Then another thing, looking at this, you see there's a space here. There's a space here which is similar to the same where this same section starts. There's a space here. Unlike our own, where now it's touching both of the edges, it's touching here and it's touching here. How do we also fix that? Let's open this up. So now we are going to the carousel. So on the carousel, we go to advanced. Then on the padding, change it to percentage. And then on the left hand side, put like 10% on the left hand side. And let's see. Okay, I think this is too much. Maybe 5%. Let's see. Okay, so maybe around 3%. Yeah, around 3%. Yes. Or we can even use view REM. We can use REM, but I think or even view width. So we can use view width, but let's keep it at the um, percentage. So 3% by the left. Let's view it again and let's see. Okay, so you can see now it's kind of sitting nicely here, which is exactly what we want. All right. Then the next thing, there's a space between this button here and this, think probably like 60 pixel spacing. So let's go back and add it. How do we add this? Okay, how do we add this? We go to the main container, then we add the gaps. So gaps between this container and this carousel here. So the gap should be 60. And here we go. You see it, 60. We're getting there gradually. Let's save it and check our changes in the front end. Okay. All right. So this is it. Okay. We're getting there gradually, gradually. Now, the final part of this our tutorial, final part of it is how do we, when you click this, let's go back to this guy. When you click it, boom, this guy shows up. You click this, it shows up. How do you, go about that? This is where a little bit of code comes in. But before doing the code, let me show you what we are going to do next. Okay, so let's go back here. Um, all right. So on this slide, let me click on the slide again. On the slide, I want you to pay good attention here and understand this concept because this is a new concept I'm introducing, and it's something that you can find interesting when working and trying to use it in other UIs. So this slide here, even though it's called slide one, a is actually, how do I call it, a container, but not that kind of container as you may want it. Because remember, when I tried to copy, I can't copy, right? So, and now we have this container that opens up, because this is actually another container that opens up when you click this button, and it opens up directly at the top of this. So this tells me that we are dealing with two containers here, one at the top, one at the bottom. But the way it is now arranged to be on top of each other. And then when you click this, the other one on top shows up. When you click this, that one on top disappears. You see? So this warrants us to go back to this guy we did here, this thing we did here, and redo it in a different way. So, um, how do I mean? Let me drag in a container and add inside this slide one. I need to add a container. Okay, for me to effectively do it, I need to go to the slide one again. I need to go to the slide one, then change the direction. Remove it from this. All right. Then drag this and drop somewhere here. Then I need to duplicate this. So we have two containers. The one at the top, which is the one you will see immediately, and the one below, which is the one that is hidden. And then when you click a button, it shows up, and then you click the close button, it disappears. Now we have these two. Just stay with me. These same settings we did here, where we added 420 line height, the wrap and all that, the space between this, we are still going to do it in this first container and remove it entirely from this. Yes. So I'm going to remove it, click, remove, click, remove, click, remove from the slide. Then remove as well. Then go to style, remove, close it up, go back here, the padding 25 pixel, remove as well. You may say, what am I doing? We are getting there. So now on this first column, this first container here, you can see it. This is slide one. This is the first container. That's where I'm going to drop in these guys. drop it in, drag this one, drop it in, drag the other one, drop it in, then drag the button and drop it in. So you see, all these things are on the first container. Yes. So now, this first container, we change the direction to this way. Yes. But before doing that, make sure it's not box. Make sure it's full width. Yeah. So change the direction this way. Then make sure this your wrap is active. Then space in between, on the justify content, and then on the align item center. Then we go to the advanced, put 25. Just the same thing we did before on the slide. Now we are doing it in the first container and we removed it from the slide. So the final thing is to add our image. So I'm going to go to style here, then drop our image. Okay, so we click the image and then drop it. Yeah, then make sure the image is make sure it's set to cover again. And here we go. So okay, I think the final thing on this particular container is that the height need to make it 420, just like the other ones, right? Okay, so here we go. You can see it's even looking similar to these other guys. Yeah. So now we have this. We have it set. But there's another container here, like an empty container here. So that one is where we now design whatever that will show up, whatever that will show up here. You see, that's where we design it. I hope you can see the point now. You can see how we are, going. So we have this here. Then let's start designing this. Let's start designing this. All I have to do, I think, copy this, because I want to copy some of the styling I gave it. Then, in fact, let's not copy it. Let's not copy it. Let me click this to open it up. So here I need this. I need this heading this guy, then highlight. So let me quickly go through copying out this highlight. So I'm going to pause this video, copy out this content, add there, and then we go back into styling it. Okay, so you can see um I just copied out this heading here, this guy here, and I added a heading, another heading that says highlight, and then this guys, which is what you can see here, this highlight, this icon list, and these guys. Then we have also the pricing, yes, and then a button. Okay, so let me continue copying. So copy this, drop it first. Okay, then we have a button. This button kind of bigger. So let me copy this and also drop it first. Okay, so I think we have everything except this X icon here. So the X icon, we will still come to that, but for now, let's just uh, leave it. So coming here, let's style a few things. So this guy here, let's see one font size, what font size they are using. So they are using 20.8 pixel, okay, for that. And the font weight is 400. Not really, because this is bold, right? So let's see. Let's add the 20 point here. Okay. So we leave it at the font weight of 800. Nothing else. We are not touching any other thing there. Then this guy is the same. This guy styling is the same. Yeah, then the highlights. Let's see the styling of the highlights. Okay, so this is a 14 pixel, 17 pixel line height, and a 700. Okay, so let's go to the highlights. On the style, make it white. Then poppins, 14 pixel, 700 font weight, and line height of 17. All right, so here, this is our icon list. So I'm going to pause the video, copy out all those things, copy it there, and then we start styling. Okay, so I haven't one more thing that I noticed is that the icon list is using a dot. You can see this little faded dot, you know, that's what they're using. So I need to click this, find a dot, simply just type circle, and then find a circle. Okay, so here is it. Click it and insert. All right, then I'm going to delete these ones, then duplicate these guys. All right, so let me pause it and copy everything. Okay, so I have copied everything that I need. So come in, let me bring this a little bit down. Okay, so the next thing is to style. So we go to styling, uh, go to the text, change the color to white, so at least we'll be seeing what we are working on. Then let's go back and find the font size. So the font size here is 14 pixel as well. So same thing, similar to our highlight, 14 pixel, 17, and then font width of 700. Okay, so we type in Poppins, 14 pixel, 700, line height of 17. Okay, so how about our icon? Our icon is, I think, white, but we have to reduce the transparency. Yes, reduce it to that way, and then reduce the size. Maybe size should be 7. Yes, and then 7. Yeah, and then the gap, not here, the gap of the list. So we go to the list, space between. So maybe have it like 5. Okay, let me look at this again. Yeah, around 5. Okay, so then the final thing, clicking on the container, we need to give it 25 pixel, which is the same amount of padding we gave to the one at the top, the container at the top that contains these guys. So this is what we have. Now let me look at this again. We have this centered here and we have this centered here. For me, I think this is kind of bad design. Like, you have these guys left aligned. All of a sudden you have this center align. You know, if you want to have things center align it. If you want to have it left align it. So in this case, I'm going to make this left align and also give this space that is here. So this is going to be this way. Then the space, I think there's some space. So let me create that space of maybe 60 or 40. It's 40. I think it's too much. Maybe around 30, yeah, or 20. 20. Yes. Let me look at this again. Okay, around that 20. Okay, so these ones are closer to each other. So the highlights, this guy are closer. So it tells me I have to go to the container itself, then reduce the gaps. So maybe use 10 instead in the gaps. So that all these things will be uh nah, I think 10 is too much. Maybe make it keep it at 16. Uh, 16 or 14. Let's see. Yeah, 14. 14 makes sense. Yeah, keep it at 14. This highlight and then this guy here. Okay, so this guy, still thinking maybe let's use 16 as well. I want it to be closer. Now I'm doing my own design in this case, not really following exactly. So I'm trying to do my own design here because I felt like having this way, it's kind of it looks scattered. You have center line here and then boom, all of a sudden you have left align here. So trying to like streamline it here. And then this our button need to be bigger. So let's see what they have here. Click it. So this says 16 pixel, okay, and 16 pixel line height. Okay, then margin of 8 and 25. Okay, so let's go back here. Click on our button. Go to style and the topography. Change it to 16. Of course, the line height is already 16. Then this guy, the padding. I think they said 25 here, 25 here, and I've forgotten the other one. Let's do it again. Okay, so okay, 8 pixel at the top. All right, 8 pixel at the top. So 8 pixel, 8 pixel. Then I'm going to change this to say premium. Okay, let's look at that. All right, I think their own is a little bit bigger. Get premium, not just premium. Get premium. So let's look at it again. All right, so their own is a little bit bigger. So instead of 8 pixel at the top and bottom for the padding, maybe should use 10, 10, 10. Yeah, because we want it to be bold so that people can see it for what it is. All right, then let me click this. We are going to make sure it's still the same height, which is 420. Still make sure it's 420, the same height. Then center everything. No, not this. Center everything. Yes, everything have to be centered. Let me go to the upper container and make sure it's also centered. Okay, it's already centered, and this one space in between. Yeah, so it's already as it should. Okay, now on this second column, there's a little thing we need to do here on this second column because right now we're trying to uh, uh, do some magic. So I think before doing it, let's add our icon here, our closing icon. So let me just add it. So I'm going to type icon, drag this icon, drop it at the top, then click on the icon and type times. So here is it. Okay, so this icon, I'm going to align it to the right, change the color to be white. And of course, when you hover on it, maybe it have to be a little bit transparent. So, okay. So then I'm going to reduce the size to maybe around 30 or let's say 24. Yeah, reduce the size to 24. Then there's some unwanted spacing at the bottom. So maybe minus 7, not 17, minus 7. Okay, exactly. Now, because this this icon, because I added it here, it's kind of push this thing back. You push it down, which is not what I want. I want it to be there as if it's not even there. So how do we do that? Still on the icon, we go to the advanced, scroll down to position, and we set this to be absolute. Now, do you see what happened? So immediately I set it to absolute. You see where it went and stays. So I'm going to change the horizontal orientation to this way. Yes, because I want it to be there. And then the offset, in this case, maybe make it offset of 20, then offset of 20 in the vertical as well, so that it stays nicely. I don't know, I think you are not seeing it, but let me click on this column, go to style, and add a bit of, I don't know, add, yes, a bit of background. So you see what I mean. You see where I place it? Place it somewhere around there. So let me click on it again. Scroll down. Maybe give it like a 16 and then a 16 around here. Yes. So the way is staying there as if it's not actually part of this whole thing. You know, it's not affecting. See, it's not affecting this because I set the position to absolute. Yes. I think I have to also reduce it. Maybe about 20, use 20 pixel instead. Yeah, I think their own is big, right? But then, um, I don't know. I think maybe we can just use 22. Okay. Now, um, another thing, another thing we can do is looking at reducing this thing, reducing it to this way, and then when you hover on it, it becomes pure white. Yes. Ooh, oops. When you hover on it, it becomes pure white. Yeah. So let it be this way. Yeah. When you hover, it becomes pure white. All right. Coming back to this container. Want to remove this thing that I gave it, the background that I gave it. Same magic that we did with this button, where we gave it an absolute, position absolute. We are going to do it here because we want this to be on top of this upper column. But before then, you can see there's a space, there's a gap between this and this. Where is this gap coming from? Because it's coming from the slide. So we go to the slide, scroll down to gaps, make sure it's set to 0. Let me scroll down so you see. Now you see this guy and this other guy is touching. So this one and this one are now touching each other. So now clicking on this second column here, go to advanced, scroll down to position, change it to absolute. I don't know if you see something happen. So we changed it to absolute, and here we go. It's now on top of it. It's exactly on top. But now everything is so jumbled up. All right. Um, the next thing we can do, to minimize the because right now everything is kind of jumbled up together and all that. So to minimize that is to give this guy the container, like the second container here, give it a blur, like make the background a blur. Remember, see, you see this color that looks as if it's a gradient. It looks as if it's a gradient, but do you notice that for each of them it changes color? You see, not the same color. Like that gradient is not the same color. That's actually not gradient they added. It's actually the color of this background that is turning into this. So let me show you how they did this. So on that second column here, we are on the advanced, then we scroll down to custom CSS. Just going to add a little CSS code here. So we say selector. You already know what selector means, which is this particular container, not any other one, but this particular container, then our coily bracket, the opening and closing coily bracket, then we hit the enter key to open it up. Then we simply put backdrop, you know, backdrop filter. That is the keyword here, backdrop filter. What do we want to make it? We want it to be blur, and the percentage of the blur have to be 40, around 40 pixel. Let's see. Do you see what's happening? So maybe we can say around 10 pixel. Maybe we can say around 5 pixel, around 1 pixel. You see, 100 pixel. Now everything is totally. So I may say maybe 40 pixel is always like the nice spot. Sometimes 30 pixel, but or even 35. But I found out that 40 pixel is like the sweet spot of this. So now we have this, right? We have this done this way. Now, this is where the main magic comes in, because right now there's no interaction going on. So that's where the main magic comes in. We are going to make this button so that when you click this X, when you click it, it makes this thing to like disappear. And then coming the second column here, of course you can't see it now because it's now being the first column, you can't see it because it's now being covered by this. Yes. So but here we can of course navigate through it. From here we can still navigate, or you know what, let me go to this second column, change it from this absolute, just turn it back again. Yeah, so let it be this way so that we do the final thing we have to do here. After doing it, then we now change it back to that absolute again. So now here I want, when you click this button, when you click this button, oops, I think this one, the layouts kind of changed. Why? Okay, still the same. All right. So I want, when you click this button here, when you click it, to show me this. And then when I click this X, I see this X icon. When I click this X icon, it will close this. And I will still be saying this. And then if I click this, so just bear in mind, we are going to add some code here. You don't really need to fully understand the code. All you have to understand is the steps being taken to achieve this. So I can give you the code, and then you use that same steps, go through that same steps and do it. So pay good attention to this. On this button, I'm going to add a class to the button. So if you click on the button, go to advanced, scroll down to CSS classes. So I'm going to give it a class of toggle element, which is like toggle element, right? So, but let's just keep it there, toggle element. Now, pay attention to how I wrote this. This is very important. I start with a small letter T, a capital letter E. It's very important. If I put this to be this way, now it's no longer going to work. So pay attention to what I type here. Small letter T, big letter E in the LM. So toggle LM. That's the class we gave to the button, that when you click it, it shows you this second container. Then how about the button, the X icon, that when you click it, it hides it, or kind of makes it to disappear. So go to advanced, scroll down to CSS classes again, and we are going to add toggle close. Same thing, small letter T, capital letter C, toggle close. Then how about the container itself? The final class we are going to give is to the second container. the container that will appear, disappear, appear, disappear. So the second container, we click it, go to the advanced, scroll down to the CSS classes, and here we are going to add toggle content. Same method again, small letter T, capital letter C, toggle content. Now, this is very important. Having added all this here, the next thing we're going to do is bring in an HTML widget. HTML, because we're trying to add a JavaScript code. So bring in this HTML, drag it and drop anywhere in the first column. Want it to be in the first column. So sometimes when you want to drag something and drop, it doesn't allow you here. So it doesn't allow you to do it because the direction is set to this. So I'm going to remove it for the moment. Then search for that HTML again, drag it, drop it. I want to drop it below the button. Oh, okay. So let me drag this up it at the top. Okay, so let me drag it from here. All right. So now this is it here. Now let me click on the content again and change the direction back to how it is before. All right. Now inside this HTML, I'm going to copy this code. So let me get the code I just prepared. So you don't need to worry about this. I've already customized it the way you want it to work. All right. So now I pasted it. So all the code here, everything is working. Like I just pasted it. All I have to do, go to the second column and then make it that absolute. So the second column, the position, click it, turn it to absolute. All right. So let's actually save this because we have already done everything that we need. Let's save it and then let's preview in the front end. Let's preview it. All right. So remember we did this in the first slide. Ooh, I have to go back to the first slide. We did it in the first slide, not the other ones. So the first slide, here's the button. Now watch. You see? And then the X icon, you can see it. So it's working and it's working perfectly. You see? So that's just how you do it. You see? So now all I have to do, because I've gotten my first slide working, I've gotten my first slide working. All I have to do, go to that first slide. If I go to carousel, then delete all these other slide that is not doing anything. Delete them, delete them. So this is my first slide I've gotten working the way I want it to work. Then I will simply duplicate it, duplicate to the number of times that I want it. Okay, and of course, I'll start changing the name. Slide 2, slide 3, slide 4, slide 5, and slide 6 finally. Okay, so of course the slide are still loading up. Is my, I think, my network. So you can double tap here, put 2, then double tap on this one, put 3, double tap, put 4, double tap, put 5. Okay, then scroll down to the final one, double tap and put 6. Okay, so we have a slide. Let me update this. The slider is still not showing with the network, but let me update it and then let's preview it in the front end. Okay, so I have finished updating it. So let's preview. Let's click preview changes. So let's preview it. All right. So here we go. Boom. Yes. Yes. That's it. You see, we're able to replicate this exactly. So maybe what I will now do is uh, maybe change the images, change the images and the content to at least be so just give me a little moment. I will pause the video, then change the images, and then we continue from where we left off. All right. So the process, let me show you the process. I go in changing those images because, of course, I can't see the container, the first container, right? So I will simply go to the second container, go to advanced, change it back from absolute to default, you see, so that I can see it. Then go back to the first container, do my changes. After doing the changes, go back here to the second container, then turn it from the position to absolute, and that's it. So that's the process. All right, let me continue. Okay, so I have went ahead and made changes to the images and also some, the headlines of each of these, and like some changes, not all of them because of time. So but let's preview our changes again and let's see. So let's preview it and let's see what we have. Okay, so this is what we have. You see, and this is it. So this is it. This is it. And you can see different colors, different colors based on the what, based on the background that is there. So you see, and this is it. This is it. So, and this is actually a very nice, a nice this thing, a nice uh, um, challenge, even for me as well, because it actually pushed me, to think creatively on how are we going to solve this, how are we going to. So that's it. Maybe one other thing you may want to do, which we forgot, is these guys, this X, the X icon or the closing icon. When you hover on it, let me show you. When you when you hover on it, it doesn't act as if it's a button. You see, just like this, right? It doesn't act. I think is doing it here, but on the front end, let's check it on the front end. You see, it doesn't act as if it's a button. When you hover on a button, the icon changes to a hand. Same thing here, doesn't, because of we didn't add a link to it. So of course it's not going to be a link because this is a it has to do something different, not directing you to a certain page. No, or rather, we just have to add a hashtag into it. So here's the X icon. So inside the link, instead of adding anything, we simply add an X icon. So when you do that, you see what happens. Let me hover on it so you see. So when you hover on it, it's going to change. Yes, you see, changes into a hand icon. So you do that to all the other X icons you have. You do that. Okay. So this is it. Let me update it and let's view it once again um before we close. Okay, so let's preview it. All right, so when you click it, it opens and you can see, oh, it's still X is still not acting like a link. Why? Okay, oh, this is the one, the Compact Plus is the one we updated. You can see it. You see the X is now acting as just as a link. You see, close it. All right. So this is it, and of course you can make it mobile responsive, and do further stylings. Like we haven't styled the what is it called? Those dots. You can see those little dots here. Yeah, and one other thing. Ooh, we forgot this. When you hover on it, to expand it. Let me just show you. But I think we have done something similar to this before, right? So, but let me just show you. So all you have to do, go to a slide. So let's take, for example, this slide two. So go to the slide two. Go to advanced. Scroll down to motion effects. So on the motion effects, um, this is not scrolling effect. This should be mouse effects. So on the mouse effects, this is mouse track tilt. Okay. Elementor doesn't give it to us here. Okay, it doesn't give it to us here. How about here? All right. So Elementor doesn't give it to us here. This is something that we can use CSS to achieve, just a little line of CSS. I think you can refer to the other video. There's a video we did the other time, right? So where we kind of expanded something. I think that was when we were doing um the experience welcome, yes, experience welcome website. So you can copy out that code, use that same code, paste it, go down to custom css, paste it here, and adjust it, you know wash that particular part where I added that code, because I kind of explain everything about the code, so you can follow through and use that code here to expand it. When you hover on this slide, it will expand. When you hover on this, it expands. Hover on this, it expands. So that's it. That's it. Thank you. And I'm expecting your designs. Post your designs on the group, post it on your timeline, share it to your friends, like not just Facebook, maybe WhatsApp group, Twitter, Instagram, wherever it is, you know, post post it there, because one thing is doing is that is establishing you as a wonderful designer. People are seeing your work, seeing your progress, seeing, okay, these are day one, day two, day three, and seeing how your designs are changing over time as you gain more experience, right? So they are watching, and they will definitely contact you. You see, so that's a way of us also, and also share on the group, because it's a way of us building community on that group. Yes, we want to build a community of successful web designers, and we're just starting. This is just the beginning. Thank you, and see you on the next one. Bye.